Hey y'all, it's Taryn. It is Sunday, December 18th. Welcome. I hope y'all have had a good 3 weeks. I think it's been 3 weeks. Um, it's been good here. Um, because it drives me nuts and I cannot figure out how to turn off the auto adjustment for the light. I have a lamp over here. We'll see how it goes because it's got no lampshade on it. It's a little bit blinding, but what the heck? Sorry. Um, we got back from Vegas on Wednesday. While we were there, I met up with McKenna from Stitching in Sequence. Unfortunately, I only got to see her for a little bit one night because I got sick. I was sick almost the whole time we were in Vegas. Yes, that is a lot of fun. Sorry, Dax is texting me. We got, I lost my train of thought. We got there on Monday, December 4th, 5th, December 5th. Met up with McKenna on Wednesday for a little bit. She gave me this beautiful new ort jar. Look, it has little ridges to set your scissors in, in your orts. Or it's an ashtray that she took from the bar and put in my purse. One of those two things. I'll let you decide. That was on Wednesday. Met up with McKenna for a little bit Wednesday night. Thursday after lunch, Dax ever so kindly told me that I really looked like I wasn't feeling well. I've made it nicer than he did. So on Thursday after lunch around 2:30, he made me go take a nap. I got up on Saturday morning around 10. I remember getting up one time on Friday to go to the bathroom. That is it. I feel terrible for Dax because he had nothing to do, no one to talk to, sitting in the room. I know he went to eat, he went to work out, he went and gambled a little bit, but he lost the money really quickly, so he didn't like that. I guess he learned the hard way, though, that he likes having me around. Anyway, we got home on Wednesday night. Thursday morning, I went to the doctor, and he put me on, I don't know, 4 different prescriptions. I'm on a strong antibiotic. There's no way I can be contagious. I'm on too much drugs. I'm on an inhaler. I don't even know what they all are. I just take them like I've been told to do. But I finally am starting to feel better. So, mostly the problem is it's all settled in my chest. And not bronchitis, it's not that deep, but it's all up in my chest. So, anyway, this too shall pass. I did very little stitching, as you can imagine. Since I slept through, I don't know, I probably slept close to 40 hours. Even on Saturday, we got up long enough to go get something to eat, and then I came back and took another nap. Yeah, I slept so much, my ears were actually sore on the sides from laying on the pillow. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So, we will not count this as a fun trip to Vegas. It is not the worst, but it goes down there next to worst. I did stitching before I went. I did just a tiny bit while I was there, and stitching since we've gotten home. We have not been back to the office yet. We closed the office for the 2 full weeks. So mostly I've been at home doing quite a bit of stitching in the mornings, a little throughout the day, but mostly in the mornings like I always do. And just taking it easy. Because right now that's really just, I just want to get well. So I worked a little tiny bit on the Brooks books. This is the elephant, Ethan elephant. There's what he'll look like. So I've worked just a little bit on this one. Obviously these are not going to get done by the end of the year. Maybe by the end of next year. I really am trying not to cough, but it's... I can at least go for a little bit now without coughing instead of doing it. I've coughed so much, I actually have a bruise that has come to the surface by one of my ribs. Close to the sternum, you know. One of my new starts was from Waxing Moon Designs. Merry Christmas. I'm doing this one. You won't be able to tell. There you go. There's my amazing start. This is the fabric in the last one that I had dyed. This is what I was dyeing it for. I worked just a hot little minute on mason jar lineup from Dimensions. I think mostly filling in the flowers over here. I may have brought some of the green down a little farther in the back stitching, but I don't really remember. So, and I've been watching some Floss tube. I've given up. I tried, you know, picking a few people that were doing the Flossmas or Vlogmas, and I've tried keeping up. That's just impossible. Absolutely impossible. I took Wyatt's stocking with me. That was one of the things I took to work on there. And I did work on it the tiniest little bit. It took more brain knowledge than I was able to muster for most of it. It's kind of been that way since we got back also. But I have to blend some of the thread colors and make cording and all of that for some of it, and I didn't want to do that. Here is where it is. Try to see. I did some more of the back stitching around his glove and his sleeve and some of that stuff that required a different number of back stitching threads, but was still kind of easy. And I'm hoping this week to really get the rest of that knocked out, that the brain function is back. While we were gone, I took cold medicine. I took everything under the sun trying to feel better. I hate taking cold medicine because it makes me feel awful. So there you go. It did. But it also makes me just like foggy and loopy. So anyway, I worked on my Santa's Magic from Mirabilia. Honestly, I don't know where. So there you go. I think over in this area, but I wouldn't swear to it. So there's that. It'll obviously also be carrying forward into 2023's 20, as will the mason jars and the animal advent and at least 12 or 13 others. I worked on Perfect Pumpkins. And I'm going to cheat on this one a little bit. It's got a number of different stitches. A road stitch, a double Leviathan, plated cross stitch, Smyrna, and closed herringbone. I'm going to do a lot of Smyrna. No. Yes. Yeah, a lot of Smyrna. That's what I'm going to do a lot of. Anyway, this time I worked here filling in the pumpkin. Like all of this, I just have to fill in here and here. Trying to get it so that there's easy stuff to do. I'm trying to think of if anything fun happened while we were in Vegas. It was very crowded, very crowded. Even after the rodeo was over, we go at the beginning of December every year. We like to be out there while the National Finals rodeo is going on, because it's even a more party atmosphere than regular Vegas, and we like that. We went to the rodeo like 10 years ago, to the actual rodeo. It's way too crowded. Way too crowded. We've since decided that our better option is to go and watch the rodeo on the big screen in a bar somewhere. That's the way we like to do it nowadays. Less crowds, cheaper drinks. Well, sometimes. Another one of my new starts are Santa Claus from Raise the Roof. I got part of the shorts right here in the middle. Like the page break, I think, is like right here. So I got Santa's boxers above the line. I guess that's what it amounts to, right? Out of For the Love of Cross Stitch, I never remember what year this is from. 1990. This one. Did I say it's like July, August, I think? I'm working on this one. I don't think you're ready for this. I finished it. Hooray! I'm not quite sure how I'm going to FFO it, but even if I was positive how I was going to do it, that could last for another year, 2, 5, whatever. But, y'all, this is actually one off my list of 20 this year. I actually got another one finished. I think I've gotten 6 done at this point. I think that's about what I got done last year. And like I said, Wyatt's stocking, I am finishing this year. It may not be done by Christmas. I would like for it to be done by Christmas. But we'll see. I got a lot of stuff going on. I've got cookies to make for clients. And we are going to Houston on Saturday to celebrate Christmas. We're going to my brother's house and then over to Dax's mom's house and then coming back home to do Christmas Day here. For Christmas Eve dinner, I am making lasagna, so I guess I've got to do that on Friday night so that it's all done and ready to go with us. And somewhere I've got to add in Christmas shopping. I haven't done any of that yet either. But even if Wyatt's stocking is not done by Christmas, it will be done before the end of the year. So I think that'll give me 7, but when we get to the end of the year, we'll get exact numbers. Out of Just Cross Stitch, April 2018, I'm doing this one. And just moving along. I think since last time we've come and put in, and there were some flowers and stuff up here at the top of the bunny that we're missing. I just love working on this one. I mean, I like the picture, but it just, same with everything. Pictures just don't do it justice. They just really don't. I worked on my Solitude by Mystic Stitch. Once again, I don't think you're ready for this. I finished the page. It only took me 2 years to finish this page. This right here was a page, but I finished the next page. I can't cross country. I got down to the little confetti stuff. I'm going to show you a piece of the pattern because God knows you won't be able to tell all of that. I got down to the confetti stuff. Some of my counting is off, but the yellow sometimes mixed in too well. It was hard to tell what I had stitched, what I hadn't. I had to go back over it with the pink, find each little block of 10 and try to figure it out. And that made this so much worse than it needed to be. So I am going to do the 10 by 10 blocks, and even if that means, you know what, I tie off the color and I could have used it 12 more times in the next block, I don't care. I've got to do the 10 by 10 blocks. If it makes it look super gridded when the whole thing's said and done, then that's just the way it'll have to be. And I'll tell people it was on purpose. I'll just say it's supposed to look like that. They won't know. Today's new start is from Pineberry Lane, Fancy Black Cats Brooms. This and the Waxing Moon designs are both from a gift box from the box of goodies from Sherry Smith. Still working my way through those. I started this one last Sunday while we were still in Vegas. And there's where I got. And I just want you to know that took 2 different stitching sessions. So I worked on my Paula Vaughn Friendship Quilts. I have some more Paula Vaughn coming up in my starts. I got them all at once, but I can't just start a Paula Vaughn after a Paula Vaughn after a Paula Vaughn. I have to put some smaller things in there in any kind of hopes that I might finish something next year or in the years following. But I spread them out so that, I mean, usually I put everything just in order in the back, but these I spread out. But here we are. More filling in here on the edge of the house. There's still more to go with these half stitches. And then I came over and did some in the quilt that's over the back of the chair. And there was a little bit here that still had to be brought down. You know, this stuff. I think I only had it to here. So I had to bring this down, and then the filling in comes down too. But we're getting there. Maybe my goal next year, because, you know, this is on my list of 20. Maybe next year's goal will be to just get this half done and then move on to the next half. That may be a little ambitious in and of itself. This one, this Dimensions kit, was also on my list of 20 for this year. I think I've worked on it exactly twice this year that it's come up. It is from 1983. I am not going to do the border around it. I'm not going to do all of the little polka dot in the background. And I'm going to change the color of the tile there. I got plenty of time. Yeah, this one won't be done this year. At the start of this year, I had like part of this right here done, I think. But the other day, I did get a fair amount of stitching time in. When I worked on it, I did all of this the other day. Once again, I like it better than in the picture. The real life thing looks way better. But, yeah, this won't be done by the end of the year. But like I said, it's weird. I spin the wheel, and like I said, this one, I think this is the second time I've worked on it this year. Out of this Christmas 1991 Celebrations to Cross Stitch and Craft, I think that's what it says, yes. I'm working on the White Santa. That is the full picture. I'm doing the whole thing, not just the top like in that one. And I'm doing it on a burgundy fabric. And I made some really decent progress. This time I finished all of this, put his hand in, the bird, and I backstitched. I went around his hand with the one strand, and you couldn't tell. It was just a big glob. You couldn't tell I'd done anything. So I went back and backstitched all of this, his hand and this cuff, with two. That seems like it's going to have to be how it gets done. So I think next time we'll put Santa's head on here. That's where I'll work. I'll work on not having a headless Santa next time. I think that would be nice of me. I took this one with me to work on because it's just, chunks of color. I worked on it, I think, in the airport. On the way home, our flight out there was at night, but there you go. I got a lot of nothing. Because, quite frankly, I got bored. And then today's new start from Homespun Elegance, Treats for Thee. This is another one that was in the box of goodies from Sherry. And I looked at this and I was like, you know what? That's really cute. I think I'll do it. Finish it just like that, in the little bag. And I had dyed some fabric. Friday, I decided to go ahead and dye some fabric for this one. And I had a roll of 16 count Aida cream colored that I had cut a little piece out of. I just went ahead and dyed the whole thing. It's a mess. It's got some really dark spots. It's got spots where it doesn't look like it got any dye at all. And I decided that I really don't care because it's a whole big piece that I can hack up however I want to. So I was reading the directions. I know, right? I don't do that. And you'll see that I didn't read all the directions. And, seeing the size of the design, and they stitched it on 18 count. It's as far as I got. So I thought, well, this is 16 count. I added a little. And I started stitching in it. And I'm like, well, I need to make sure that I actually 16 count is smaller than 8, bigger than 18. And so I need to make sure I added enough. And so I went back and I looked at the measurements, and then I read again that they stitched it on 18 count. But then I read the next line, which says using 3 plies over 2 threads, which means basically they stitched it on 9 count, because I didn't read that far. So mine's tiny. Mine is very much smaller, because, God forbid, we read the whole instructions. Anyway, We'll see. We'll see. I got the whole band across the top. Those little white flowers are hard to see. It's got the little white flowers up there. The pattern has about, I don't know, 7 or 8 colors. I picked 3. I picked a green, a white, and a red. I've got 221 for my red, 712 for my white, and 937 for my green. All DMC. When I get my little tiny version of this complete, then I'll decide what I'm going to do with it. But I started it. I have plenty of time. I was pretty proud of myself that I even got that much done. The whole border across the top. It's really, I mean, I got all that done right there. This at the top and the bottom are felt sewn on there. It's really not a big pattern. So it'll only take me a couple of years, maybe 3. It's all good. I finished the girls' ornaments for this year. That little pom-pom on top needs some help. Don't use scissors and cold medicine at the same time. That's pretty pathetic. We'll clean that up a little bit. I've given, well, Abigail, I haven't given her hers yet because I gave Addison hers. I went ahead and gave the others their stuff too. That was all the stitching that I did. So I guess now I'm starting over for consecutive days because I missed several in there. Some days there was probably only a couple of stitches that happened, but we do what we can. This is my haul. I actually did buy some stuff. I'm getting close to the end of the year. I'm thinking that I need to see what my dollar balance is at the end of the year and take it in cash and head over to the Golden Needle in San Marcos and do some shopping. Anyway, this is a Prairie Schooler. This one's a reprint, St. Nicholas too. Dax has got this thing going on now with, he's obsessed with pipes. He does not smoke a pipe, but he likes the way they smell. So he has this obsession when we go places, like when we went to the Renaissance Festival, he looks at the handmade fancy pipes and all of that kind of stuff. He's trying to figure out how to get one to stay lit, where he can just burn it and have the smell without smoking it. Because this is what we do. Anyway, I ordered this one because I'm going to do this Santa with the pipe for him. Because why not? Who knows where we get these things from, but right now that is his current obsession. I have to tell you, he he's got a kind of a scruffy beard. He doesn't let it get really long. It's longer than, 5 o'clock shadow or whatever, but it's not a long full beard. He keeps it trimmed pretty close. And while we were there, he went in the bathroom to get dressed and was trimming his beard. He came out and he said, "You went to bed with one man and get up in the morning with a different one." And I looked at him and I'm like, what have you done? He accidentally took the guard off when he just had his head down, just, because it's a short beard, because it's just a scruffy kind of beard. He doesn't have to pay attention, and make sure that everything's even and trimmed like you do with a full beard. And so he just had his head down and he was like, wow, that's a lot of hair in the sink. But, I haven't done it in over a week. And he kept going. And then he was like, why do I keep grabbing, like the skin on his lip? And he looked up and he had pulled the guard off the beard trimmer. And so he had I shaved it off to maybe a day's growth, maybe a half a day's growth. I don't know. And it really caught me off guard. He's had it now for a few years. So it's been a while since we've seen him without it. So he was horrified. He was absolutely horrified. But his hair grows super fast, so it already is almost back to where it was. But like I say, there is always something fun going on in the Burley house. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Not that I can remember. Not right now. Still got a couple of weeks before the end of the year, so there's still going to be some more new starts. At least one finish. Probably only one finish, but a finish nonetheless. So I know I won't be back next weekend. There'll be just too much going on. But maybe the week after that. And then I can have together the all the year-end stats, how many whips that I have. And like I've said before, I have more than enough. I'm still going to do a new start every week. There will be a couple of extras probably thrown in for Mania, because I did actually finish some of those things. I'm hoping early next year to get Abigail's stocking finished. She messaged us while we were in Vegas to let us know that she is moving in with her boyfriend. Fortunately, we were a little bit tipsy, so that made it go over really well. And it's not that there's anything. Dax and I lived together for a couple of years before we got married. It's not that I'm necessarily opposed to that or anything. Our hardest thing is reminding ourselves that they're 24 and they get to make their own decisions. They're not ours to make anymore. That's really our struggle. Dax and I are both a little bit of control freaks, so this is a learning curve for us also. So we've got that going on. And I think really that's about it. Thank you everyone for your comments. Thank you for your likes, for subscribing. If you haven't yet, go ahead, subscribe. I am really trying to get more organized so that next year I can do a better job at having more of a routine. I do better with the routine. I am a creature of habit, to the point, like, if I'm driving someplace that isn't where I usually go, I have to continue to remind myself, because I go the same places all the time and I just get in the car and go. And if that's not where I want to go, I have to be uber conscious of it, because otherwise I'll just, go to the grocery store and be like, this is not where I was trying to go at all. So I'm trying to establish these habits to make it easier on me. It'll keep the floss tubes from being terribly long. It'll make it easier for me to keep organized with what I've been working on. And it's just better for y'all to see me on a more regular basis. So anyway, those are my goals for next year. I got to come up with a word. This past year, our word was peace, and we did quite a few things in that vein. Most of it has been a good year for peace. I made a habit of meditating in the mornings, reading inspirational things that do help bring me peace. And we fired some of our more stressful clients, which is huge. That's not the kind of thing we like to do, but it also frees us up to be better to our clients who don't bring us a lot of stress, which is better for everyone. Okay, that's enough rambling. Thank you, everyone. Again, I appreciate you more than you know, and we will see you here next time. Thanks, y'all. Bye.